Ow. Hi, everyone. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dynamite or Mike. Mike Lane, here with Tony Schiavone and with Montel Vertadius Porter. And today on Dynamite or Mike, we're going to see the World Heavyweight winnings on stake. And the World Heavyweight fighter, Mike Lane says, is Biggie Langston. Which you wouldn't know that because Biggie Langston has not put the TWF World Heavyweight winnings on stake as many times as Mora, the TWF Heavyweight fighter. But we will see, we will see that happen here today. And I understand that the grounds to why we are going to see that happen. And sorry for clearing my throat again. Mike Lane said that happens. And here is the ground to why that's going to happen. Apparently it's too much work to have one wrestler be both the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight. Well, for that. So that's what we're going to do, Mike Lane says. Well, Tony Schiavone said some folks out there might think that it was a mistake and the TWF upper leadership to even unbond the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. And here is more in the ring. So I understand that I'm going to have to put my TWF World Heavyweight winnings on stake here today against Biggie Langston, the World Heavyweight fighter. And let's be earnest, I don't really have a bind or a hang up with Biggie Langston. And I don't know why I have to be wrestling him for. Yeah, Biggie Langston says, to be earnest with you, Mara, I can't say that Hawaii's borrowed name right, but I don't have a bind or a hang up with you at all. And someone in the TWF upper leadership thought that it'd be great if the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings were two unlike wrestlers or two unlike fighters. Now, sadly, that was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, or Triple H, the four-sitter of the Toy Wrestling Gathering, came up with that. So, I guess at the end of the day, someone out there probably thought that it was too much work to do it. Oh! Well, I could tell you one thing, Michael Lane says. I don't know if it was too much work to do it, but they're going to bind them back up again between Mora and Biggie Langston, Michael Lane says. That's right, Tony Schiavone says. Today we're going to see the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings become one again, held by one wrestler or one fighter, Tony Schiavone said. You know what, Montel Vertadius Porter says, I don't know why they unbonded him in the first stead. But now they're going to bond him back up again. So I was dumb to unbond him. Now they're going to bind them back together again because they, since they believed it was a mistake to unbond him in the first stead. Montel Vertadius Porter says, this is for the TWF heavyweight winnings and the world heavyweight winnings. First, he is Biggie Langston, the world heavyweight fighter, and she is Mora, the TWF heavyweight fighter. Ding-ding-ding. Biggie Langston wants to get the big ending. He does it, the big ending. Will Biggie Langston be the one to once again bond both the TWF heavyweight winnings and world heavyweight winnings, Mike Lane says. Well, we hope so, Tony Schiavone said. It will be a big thing if Biggie Langston can do it, Tony Schiavone says. Not that I don't have anything against Biggie Langston. He did beat Bobby Lashley to win the WWE heavyweight winnings. And he did beat Seth Rollins to win the WWE NXT heavyweight winnings. Montel Mercedes Porter said, and he became the world heavyweight fighter. But I don't think he can beat Mora. 1, 2, and only a kick out. He doesn't have it. I don't think he can beat Mora, at least not with a big ending. Montel Mercedes Porter says, and need I tell you, at least when he beats Seth Rollins for the WWE NXT heavyweight winnings, Seth Rollins was not wounded. When he beat Bobby Lashley for the WWE heavyweight winnings, he was wounded. So I think that thing was unfair. Here comes Mora. Oh! Mora just did the Hawaii spike to Biggie Langston. Is she going to win the world heavyweight winnings and keep the TWF heavyweight winnings, Mike Lane says. Well, Tony Schiavone said, only time will tell if that will happen or not. If the match overlay can get down to get to 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. And still the TWF heavyweight fighter and the world heavyweight fighter for the 2nd time, Mora. And Mora has beat Biggie Langston and is now not only the TWF heavyweight fighter, but also the world heavyweight fighter for the 2nd time. Since now the TWF heavyweight winnings and world heavyweight winnings have been bonded once again and held by the same wrestler or the same fighter, Mike Lane says. That's right, Tony Schiavone says. Mora beat Biggie Langston. She kept the TWF heavyweight winnings and won the world heavyweight winnings for the 2nd time. Montel Mercedes Porter says, you know, some folks out there are going to think it was dumb to either unbond them, you know, and give it to Biggie Langston in the first stead. And some folks are going to think it was dumb for Biggie Langston to lose it back to Mora again. But that's my thought, that's my belief, Montel Mercedes Porter says. Well, it looks like it is all the time we got here. You know, no we don't. Because now Jim Ross now is going to be talking with Mora. Stand up, stand up. Come on. That doesn't fucking work. Alright. Alright, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, I'm going to be talking with Mora here today on Dynamite. Alright, Mora, we just saw you beat Biggie Langston and keep the TWF heavyweight winnings, but we saw you win the world heavyweight winnings back for the 2nd time. Shit! And my far speaker just got caught in your hair. Well, Jim Ross, sorry about that. First off, I know there's going to be some folks out there that are going to be angry that I'm still the TWF heavyweight fighter and won the world heavyweight winnings back for the 2nd time. That cannot be helped. First off, Biggie Langston had nothing to do with he had nothing to do with the booking or writing. I had nothing to do with the booking and writing. When the TWF heavyweight and winnings were unbonded earlier this year, I did not have anything to do with it. And the grounds is that they thought that it would be too much of a workload for the TWF heavyweight fighter to be both the world heavyweight fighter. It's almost as if they had a belief that, you know, that there weren't no opening or luck or time for other wrestlers or other fighters. Like I said, I would be the fightingest TWF heavyweight fighter and world heavyweight fighter, and I lived up to that. Everyone that I was in the ring with so far as a TWF heavyweight fighter since the 4th month of this year, I have fought them. Well, Maura, what if some folks out there say that you only won the TWF heavyweight winnings and the world heavyweight winnings again, only so they could make all of the, Southeast Islanders happy? Well, there are a lot of folks who live in the Southeast Islands, and I don't know if I was made that only to make those folks happy or not. To tell you the truth is, I don't really know the unlikeness between the Samoas folk, the Hawaiian folk, or the Maori folk. Or at least don't know the unlikenesses between their speeches. So, anyway, I just want to tell Biggie Langston he was a great wrestler, he was a great fighter, and if he wants to have another match with me, Jim Ross, or JR, whatever you want to call yourself, I'll be ready for him. Well, that was my talk with Maura. Back to you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Jim Ross, for talking with Maura, or Mara, however you say that Hawaii's borrowed name, here today on Dynamite. And that's all the time we've got here for Dynamite. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Montel Retadius Porter, we hope you like Dynamite, or might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact on XSTV, or Smash and Inside SS.